Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another Around the Ropes podcast, YouTube exclusive. Now, guys, as you guys know, one of the best areas to go to for independent wrestling, because it seems like everybody runs the show there, is the Mecca, 106 Bergen Avenue. And this weekend, there are two fantastic shows. But we're talking about the show that's open in the weekend, if you want to call it that. And that would be Pro Wrestling Magic Presents Closing Time, happening this Saturday. Doors open at 5, bell time is 6 p.m. You can still get your tickets at pwmtickets.com, or you can get them at the door as well.
Yep.
Now, guys, the man behind all of it, the guy who's put it all together since day one, is on with us today. You know him, you love him, the one, the only Steve. Steve, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, John? Good to see you again. Hear from you again. Be in the show again. Good times.
Absolutely. And I was looking at this card before we get into each match. I got to give you guys props. The last couple of shows you guys have had, especially for this first half of the year, have been loaded.
Well, thank you. We're trying to load the deck, and if you think this is loaded, wait till you see what we have in store after the summer break. And I'll leave it at that.
I can only imagine. We're going to get going actually with one of, as it was, and I'm going to use it based off what you guys put out there on social media, one of 4 main events. And that would be for the heavyweight champ. I was going to say world heavyweight title, but I'm like, this isn't WWE. This is Pro Wrestling Magic.
Right.
The heavyweight title match between Steve Pena and Kerr. How do you see this match playing out?
Well, there's a whole lot of meat slapping going on. A whole lot of horse fighting going on. Although Kerr dwarfs Pena, who is about 235 pounds of muscle. So that's a big boy. I mean, man, I don't know. Like, in a straight-up fight, easily Steve Pena is going to get his ass beat. And he's a tough guy, but he's outweighed by over 100 pounds. But is it a straight-up fight? You always have Hispanos Unidos rolling together. You've got Donovan and Azrael at the very least in attendance. And I'm sure the others won't be far behind. Except JC Storm, I think, is in Germany right now, training and doing shows, and good for her. But yeah, it's never a one-on-one situation with them. Not that Pena isn't a formidable fighter, but man, I don't know. I don't like his odds if it stays one-on-one. If Pena takes the help from the outside, I mean, who knows? Who knows? But that's a big factor.
And I agree with you. I mean, I've been to enough Pro Wrestling Magic shows. I know how Espados Unidos works at this point. They may not come out with Pena specifically in the beginning, but you know they're lurking around somewhere.
They're always there. They travel in a pack, and you know what? It's smart. You could hate it all you want. You could say, "Oh, they fight like bitches, whatever," because there's 3 or 4 or 6 of them. Maybe, but they win. It gets the job done, and I can hate it all I want. You could hate it all you want. Everyone in the crowd can hate it as much as they do, but you can't argue with effectiveness.
And they get the job done.
Yeah,
they get the job done.
Yeah, now, not how I would do things, but you can't argue with success.
No. It's not. It's all that matters is if you get the win. It doesn't matter how you get the win.
Ultimately, yeah.
Now, the next match I want to get to is a match that I think could end up spilling out into Bergen Avenue, depending on how it plays out. And that would be in the Bayonne Street fight between Dan Moff and Alex Sharman. These two guys have had an interesting story going for most of 2023. And I get the fact, how we were saying before with Kerr having sort of like the size advantage.
Yeah.
You could almost say the same thing in this area for Moff.
Exact same thing. Yeah.
But you have to look at the other side. You look at somebody like Alex Sharman, who's as crazy as Moff.
Right. Maybe crazier. Not bigger, stronger, tougher, but maybe crazier. Maybe harder to kill. I don't know. Well, I mean, I do know. It's pretty hard to put that guy down. So
yeah. Well, with this match, the one thing I'm just curious to see is Ryman's craziness could almost be his downfall.
It could go either way. That could be his downfall, or it could be the thing that gets him the victory. You know, I've seen both sides of that. So depends how Dan Moff is prepared for it and how he reacts to it.
And I think with this match also, whoever comes out victorious in this match is putting themselves in a better position come the second half of the year for a heavyweight title match.
Yes, and now keep in mind, Dan Moff already has a fast pass in his back pocket for a heavyweight title match. Just a matter of finding the date. That doesn't necessarily mean number one contender. That means you get a title shot guaranteed. But that's between the champion, the challenger, and management to figure out.
Yeah, no, it's sort of like Pro Wrestling Magic's Money in the Bank.
In a way, yes. You can't cash in any time though. It's a guaranteed. It's like a set date. You pick a set date. But point is, if Ryman becomes victorious over Moff, who has a fast pass for a heavyweight title shot, maybe that becomes a triple threat. Maybe they both get a title shot at some point in the future. Ring of Honor used to do something similar where they would like set up challengers for the champion. They would set up like 4 or 5 top challengers for the champion to face. So same kind of idea.
Basically, folks, what Steve was trying to say is pay close attention toward the second half of the year because main event scene, and I've said this the last couple times that you've been on, the main event scene right now in Pro Wrestling Magic to me is not only very big, and that was not meant to be a weight joke at all, because I know any of the guys in the main event scene could probably kill me for saying that.
They'd appreciate the compliment though, because they're big guys and they take pride in that.
Oh yeah. But it's the most stacked I've seen, I think, in any independent company I've ever seen in the state of New Jersey.
It's true.
Because you look at it, I mean, you got Kerr, you got Pena. I mean, it's weird to say this. Pena is probably the smallest of them.
And he's a big boy.
Yeah. But now, next match I want to get to, as it was announced a couple days ago, will actually be opening the show.
Yeah.
And it's the first time I've ever seen this where it's I've seen winner take alls, but not winner take all where it's 3 titles on the line. And it's Donovan versus yourself versus Smiley. Now, I just want to explain to the fans who are watching what's at stake here, because and I'm going off the graphic here, the Dark Arts Championship, the Tri-Wizard Championship, and the Funhouse American Lucha Championship are all on the line here.
Correct.
So I guess the question I have for you is, you want everybody now to have to follow you?
Pretty much. I saw that street fight. I saw Pena at Kerr. I saw Kelsey Reagan versus Sonny Kiss in the first time ever dream match. And I'm like, you know what? No. We're starting this shit off. Obviously, Smiley is making those calls right now, but that was probably his thought process too. It was like, follow that, follow that, follow that. I don't think I would. Not that we couldn't follow it, but man, that's going to be tough. Both all 3 of those matches are going to be a tough act to follow. And the tag match as well. Like, we'll get to all these matches, but like, there's a lot of good stuff to follow.
Well, now here's my question to you: being that you're the only guy in this match you don't really have cronies, I guess is the way to put it. Like Smiley has Magic Mayhem.
Right.
He has Espados Unidos. You're kind of on your own on this right now.
You would probably think so, but I do have friends who listen. I'm close with Moff. I'm close to Kerr. I'm close to Death Row, but they're all a little busy. So if I find any of my friends or proteges or guys that I mentor, it's still a set of hands and feet ready to swing. So it may not be on the level from Project Mayhem or Hispanos Unidos, but I don't always roll alone. So I'll leave it at that.
Well, my question to you is this. Does that change your mindset at all going into this match?
Of course.
Being that you got you got, I would say, arguably 2 of the bigger teams right now in Pro Wrestling Magic who could be lurking at ringside any second.
I'm sure at least one member will be. And I'm caught in the crossfire. And I've got my friends Death Row that are going to be the Tri-Wizard champions with me if I emerge victorious. And that's a lot of pressure. Those are 2 guys you don't want to let down.
No.
No,
you don't.
So, yeah, a lot of pressure I put on myself by selecting them as my partners when I win the championships for us. Now, am I going to go through hell and high water and all those stereotypes? Yeah, I am. I'm going to get my ass beat. I know that. I know at least the first half of the match is going to be those 2 guys eliminating me or trying to eliminate me. But you can put me down. You will not keep me there.
No.
Ever. So, it's going to be a long night at the office, but I'm here for it.
I was just saying, like your entrance music is you're indestructible.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna feel it the next day, but
Oh yeah.
Not impervious to pain, but definitely indestructible. So this one's gonna hurt, but I'm here for it and I'm ready for it.
Exactly. And honestly, I remember the last match you had where it was you versus Smiley. I forgot which event that was though.
That was back in April.
That was the 8-year. That was the anniversary show, if I remember correctly.
Yes. Yeah.
I remember the story in that match. The one thing I will say about in the matches I've seen with you, especially, there's always that story element.
Yeah, I focus hard on that because like there's guys out there who could do flips and great moves that are more impressive than anything I can do. I'm not going to focus on that because I can't.
But I just
there's a couple cool things I could do, but like I focus on telling that story, on getting that emotion from the crowd because that's, you know, that's my strong point. That's where I excel. That's really the only that and promos are really all I excel at. So focus on the strengths, hide the negatives.
And that's the one thing I've said, especially when we do our live show. To me, when I watch wrestling, I gravitate more towards the storytellers, the ones who are going to get me sit in there and go, okay, I'm now going to spend 20, 30 minutes watching these two guys beat the ever-living crap out of each other. Why am I so entertained by this? Oh, yeah, because they're telling a good story.
Right. Like cool moves are cool moves, and I enjoy them just as much as anybody else who enjoys wrestling, but they're just that. They're cool moves. What are they? Are you going to remember that tomorrow? Unless it's like a huge death-defying Money in the Bank ladder match, death spot. Are you going to remember it tomorrow? Maybe. But you're going to remember what you felt. Not what you saw, but what you felt.
Exactly.
And young aspiring wrestlers watching this, take a note of that. You're not going to listen for a couple of years, but eventually maybe that'll make sense. It's about what you feel, not what you see. And yes, you should do cool stuff as well. The gifts are important. Social media is important. I get it. The clips are important. But without a story, it's going to get you to the next match. It's not going to get you any farther than that.
Exactly. But I want to keep things moving there because, like I said, we got a lot of big matches to go to. You just mentioned before about Death Row. They actually have a tag team match against Miracle Generation, but the catch in this one is both titles are on the line.
Yep.
The Pro Wrestling Magic tag titles and the IWTV tag titles. Now, I mean, I've said this for a while now. When you think of tag team wrestling and Pro Wrestling Magic, to me, Death Row is top of the list.
Yeah. They've dominated and defeated everyone. Literally everyone. So
exactly. So now with this, you got Miracle Generation. Is this their debut, by the way, Miracle Generation?
It is. And like it's like that story is what's the next step for Death Row? They've beaten the best in and out of Magic. So now they're challenging the best on the entire IWTV streaming network. This is the opportunity of a lifetime. You know, anything can happen in wrestling. You know what happens in a real fight between those two teams. They outweigh them. They're like 3 times their size.
Oh, yeah.
But anything can happen in pro wrestling. So who knows? Who knows?
And to me, with those guys, especially with Bruno and Tella, like I said before, to me, they're the top of the top when it comes to the tag team division. But now, I'm not trying to diminish them, but I'm just saying now, they're the top of the top of Pro Wrestling Magic. You're dealing with a team in Miracle Generation that are in other companies that are on sort of the bigger stages, so to speak.
Right. I mean, they've got the IWTV World titles. They've defended all over the world, and 5 or 6 other sets of belts. But they've also never faced a team like Death Row. So right now, are they the best? Yeah. Are they going to be the best after they face our best? I have my doubts. Dustin Waller's great. I don't really know his partner. I've seen a match or two. Other than I've seen a couple of the tag matches, but yeah, they're good. They're really good. They're as good as they say they are, but are they good enough? We're gonna find out.
I think whoever comes out of this match can really then solidify themselves as being the top of the top.
The best.
Yeah.
The best on IWTV at the very least, if not the world, period.
Now,
I would say the best unsigned, but that's just my opinion.
But you can say that about a lot of independent wrestlers, that a lot of them are the best unsigned talent out there.
There's a good argument in everything, but I think, honestly, this much gold on the line, if there's a clear-cut winner, which I'm sure there will be, that how do you argue?
You realistically, when after that match, if it is Death Row, I think Bruno and Tella can finally sit there and go, okay, we've beaten everybody in Pro Wrestling Magic. We've beaten the IWTV Tag Champions. Okay.
How do you not garner attention from the top television wrestling companies after that?
Exactly. I think
And
that
I'm not saying that there are or aren't eyes on them already. I don't have that information. I would imagine there should be. If not, there will be after this if they can pull out the win.
I totally agree. But next match I want to get to, because I know one of the things that's happening on the show is you're having. I know you have the men's keys to the kingdom, but you're
Right.
also having the women's as well.
Yep. First ever. Yep.
Now this next match, which is going to be Sunny Kiss, AEW own, taking on Kelsey Reagan, is this part of that tournament, or is it
not.
Okay,
It's not.
Okay. So how do you
Rebecca Scott and Kelsey Reagan was supposed to be another Keys to the Kingdom qualifying match, but that match has been postponed indefinitely. So this is no longer for the key or for a shot at the key, which the Keys to the Kingdom is, as you mentioned before, our actual Money in the Bank kind of deal.
I mean, realistically, if Kelsey's, and I give Kelsey a lot of credit because this is a big moment for her going up against an AEW talent.
Yeah.
But I think if Kelsey is able to come out with the victory here on Saturday, I think it puts her in line. Even though she's not in the tournament, in the Keys to the, I guess you could say, Queendom, I guess is the way to put it. Like, you have the Kingdom, Queendom.
Yeah, you know what? That's actually a pretty solid name. Noted.
I think she's definitely somebody who should be put in some sort of position for a possible title match.
I'd agree.
If
I would definitely agree. Win or lose, I'd agree. But yeah, a win should put her in line for another shot at Lala whenever that suspension is up. Which Smiley's just been going crazy with that. He suspended her. He suspended all of Prolific, like Darius Carter. Like, man, I've seen an abuse of power before, and this is it, and this is worse. But yeah, I would put her in line for a shot at whether it be Lala or whether it be the Dark Arts title or whatever junior heavyweight title.
Yeah, which actually it's actually a good idea you brought up the junior heavyweight title because that's the next match we're going to go to.
Little segue.
Azrael taking on Vinny Pacifico. Now, obviously, I remember when Vinny won the title off of Donovan.
Yeah,
wasn't that was at
Kingdom Come?
Yes,
that was Kingdom Come.
Yeah, one moment I still remember from that match in the corner over by the bar area. Now, guys, if you want to go relive it, go to IWTV. You can get it there. I think if I remember correctly, save 10%. Using this promo code Magic. So?
Promo code Magic. I don't know if they save money, but I get paid, so please do that.
Go definitely relive, especially this match with Vinny and Donovan, because in one part I remember from that match, they were in the corner over by the bar area, and they had the ladder set up.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'll just leave it at that, folks. Go back and relive it.
Go watch.
Yeah. Being there live does not hold it any justice. You got to go rewatch it. But how do you see this match playing out?
Man, again, you got to go with the numbers game, but at the same time, are they all going to be in the house, or is just Donovan going to be done working at that point? Am I going to let him be in any kind of condition to interfere in that match, knowing Vinny's my friend? Is Pena going to want to be anywhere near the ring, knowing he has a huge match later in the night? I mean, there's a lot of variables there. What if? I don't know. In a straight up wrestling match, it's a toss up. If the Hispanos Unidos faction gets involved, it's over. If Vinny can fend them all off with like a steel chair or a bat or a lead pipe or something that I might leave under the ring for him, he's got a good shot.
I'll say this much. As far as the non-title matches, the non-main event matches that we were talking about before, this to me is a sleeper match of the night.
This might steal the whole show. These are two guys that it physically ills me that they're not on my television screen every week. Personal feelings for Azrael and his group aside, like talent-wise, and they're not the only two, but these are two of the guys in Pro Wrestling Magic that I feel physically ill to my goddamn stomach that they're not on my TV every week. So will this steal the show? I don't know, but it damn sure could.
Now, I want to keep things moving here because we actually have a Keys to the, as you say, I hear Keys to the Kingdom, but I think the new name's going to be Keys to the Queendom.
Keys to the Queendom is a cool name.
Again, if you use that, you don't have to give me credit. I will
Appreciate you.
But if you want to, go right ahead. If not, I understand.
Yeah, the keys to the kingdom and the keys to the queendom. It makes sense. It's
Now, this match, I will say this much right now. It's Zeta Steel versus Vicious Vicky.
Mhm.
I will say this right now. I've seen Vicious Vicky a lot right now in 2023, and she has become probably the most improved women's wrestler out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
She
easily.
has honed her craft in, and I think putting her in a match like this with what's on the line, I think Zeta really has to really be at her top of her game here. When you're dealing with somebody like Vicky, who's coming into this really on a high, with
Mhm.
her wins. I mean, how do you see?
Now Zeta's got a hell of a future and is incredible already, but is she ready for a veteran like Vicious Vicky, who's been 5 or 6 years straight, just killing it and always improving? Is it possible? Yeah. Zeta's easily the underdog. That's not debatable. Like you look at this match and you're like, it could go either way. But like, can I see Zeta pulling out an upset victory? Yeah. But would it be a huge upset? Absolutely. If Vicky advances in this match, she will definitely be the keys to the queendom winner. I will go that far. I don't even know who else is in the tournament yet, but I will go that far. If she can get past Zeta, it's hers in the bag.
I totally agree with you on that. I think with Vicky right now, to me, and like I said, I've seen her in the almost 2 years I've been going independent wrestling now, which is scary to think. But in the 2 years I've seen her, I think she has honed her craft in and has become one of the best women wrestlers.
Yeah.
Not only in the Northeast, but let me just say Northeast because that's really most of the indie I watch is in the Northeast. But you can't really, to me, there's not many other female talents who have become the top like she has.
That is not. Like, she's the belt collecting queen of the Northeast, and
Yes.
I would put her up against like majority of women wrestlers in the world.
Oh yeah, I totally agree.
Certainly unsigned. Certainly one of the best unsigned, and I would honestly put her up against a lot of the women that are on TV. Same thing could be said for Lala and Kelsey, and the majority of the Pro Wrestling Magic Women's Division. Not to toot our own horn, but toot. We have some of the best, and Vicky is one of the best. And she didn't used to be. She's come a long way. She used to have a lot of fighting spirit, but she wasn't quite there. And she really got her shit together and has become one of the best.
I totally agree. Now, this last match we got here is actually, if I'm looking at this correctly, is actually a collaborative championship match.
Yeah.
Is that?
So that's another way of saying tag team. Everything is like the lab, and it's collaborative, and it's a gimmicky thing for Wrestlers Lab. But I'm a fan. I like different. So.
And this one, you have the Rep taking on Memory Museum.
Right. So Memory Museum, I've mentored and helped out. And like, I wouldn't say I'm their wrestling dad, but I'm definitely their wrestling stepdad. The great Kareem West trained them, who's actually a hell of a trainer. And I've kind of mentored them after the fact and showed them some of the finer points of succeeding in wrestling in front of the screen, behind the screen, everything. Are they ready for the Rep? I don't know. How do you get ready for the Rep?
You put your reps in.
The Rep were the final. I tried to keep it together. I couldn't. The Rep were the final nail in the American Murder Society coffin. And that was a sinking ship as a tag team because as good as we weren't getting noticed. So eventually that was going to blow up, and we goddamn should have been. We should have been on TV, but it is what it is. But that was the final nail in the coffin. Are these kids ready for that? I mean, I'd like to think so. I want them to be ready. Will they hang and have a great match? Probably. Will they pull off the upset? I don't know. I hope so. I really do, but I don't know.
I'll say this much. If they're able to pull off this win here, I think depending on what happens in Death Row Miracle Generation match,
yeah,
I think Memory Museum is a team that, not to do another bad dad joke here, but it's going to come out that way, is going to become a very close. No, actually, never mind. It would not have come out right. I'll tell you it off there. But I think they are a team then that could put themselves in position.
Yeah, I mean, I think no matter who wins those 2 tag team matches, they're bound to face off again. I mean, all 4 of them are, I'm sure, at some point, but the 2 winners are definitely like destined for a clash, I'm sure.
All I know is I'm looking forward to the show on Saturday. It's gonna be fun.
Oh, likewise.
It's gonna be fantastic. Obviously, like I said, folks, if you want to get tickets, you definitely can go to pwmtickets.com, or you can get them at the door as well. They'll definitely have them at the door.
They are $10 more at the door, so buy them on the website. Get them in advance, or don't. I don't care. It's your money. But if you want to get the same great show for less money, commit to the date, commit to the tickets, and buy them in advance.
And then also, guys, if you're not in the area but you'd like to watch this, definitely go to iwtv.com, use code MAGIC, and you can definitely catch this because, folks, I know there's other wrestling companies on Saturday. I'm aware of that. But I think with Magic, you always want to check it out because I've said this before. When it comes to Pro Wrestling Magic, they have put on banger after banger after banger of the show.
It's true. We got a lot of surprise moments you're not going to expect. You're not going to see coming. You're going to be happy, upset, a little bit uncomfortable, but overall entertained. So definitely check out those other companies later. Watch us live.
And who knows how many people in the crowd on Saturdays are going to yell, that nobody can beat Steve off.
That saying and a chicken on shirt made me more money than it had any business making me in 2023. Not life-changing, but a solid paycheck. So thank you, Jerry the intern, for that. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. And before I let you go, also, what do you have coming up that you like to promote other than what's happening on Saturday?
So I'll be making my SWF return on July 8th and 15th. I'll be back at Funhouse Pro Wrestling against Magic on July the 1st. And plenty more coming up. I got August 5th with Gen Pro Wrestling, trying to, politic my way into the Alpha Championship, which is their heavyweight title matchup that I was given on their last event that got canceled due to venue issues. The fact that I have to politic for it is silly, but I mean, listen, it is what it is. I'll take what's mine. September 22nd, I'm back in Massachusetts for Lucky Pro Wrestling, and then September 23rd, Pro Wrestling Magic returns from our summer break at the Mecca. So definitely follow all my social media. I'll be posting all this pretty regularly, at least once a week. It's I Hate Steve Off on Instagram and Twitter, and Steve Off on Facebook.
And also, guys, in case you can't get to Steve, you just follow us on Facebook. We'll be posting it as well.
Yep.
Stuff coming up. But again, Steve, thank you so much for hopping on. I appreciate it a lot. Can't wait to see you on Saturday for Magic.
Likewise, man. Thank you for having me on again. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. The door's always open for you. Again, guys, for Steve Off, I'm John. This has been a Round the Ropes YouTube exclusive. Catch you guys on the next one.